I'm Jake.
And I'm Christine.
And this may or may not be the last episode we do in Christine's car, but it's pretty comfortable. Anyway, today's old school trailer hound review is for a very, very rare film. I mean, this film is so rare you can't even find it on DVD. It's
When's if I like it then?
Well, it's on YouTube.
Oh.
Yeah, you can find it on YouTube. The movie is called Massacre at Central High. It's a sort of crime, sort of horror film. It's hard to define, but here's the trailer.
Welcome to Central High. Massacre at Central High.
So how did that trailer look?
Don't be David's friend. Or be David's friend because you want to be on his good side.
Because this year there's a new kid at Central. You know the student lounge? Huh? David. And David doesn't like to be pushed around. David lives by the golden rule. Do unto others and make it permanent.
It looked interesting.
That's what I thought when I first heard about. I heard about this movie maybe 10 years ago, and I just knew that it was supposedly a horror film about like a killing spree at a high school. That's all I knew about it, and then I found out an interesting fact. There are almost no adults in Massacre at Central High. Like, this movie, which is made in the 70s, and it takes place maybe 90% of the time at a high school.
With no teachers.
You never see an adult at this school. I mean, there are adults in Massacre at Central High, but I'm serious, you do not see any adults until pretty much the end of the film. And it was very bizarre to watch.
Looks bizarre and a little unrealistic, but like...
My friend Mike, he and I watched this movie, and at first Mike thought that maybe the film was a satire.
Yep.
The film's plot is pretty much kid sees bullies pushing school around, so he kills the bullies, and then the victims end up becoming the bullies. And he realizes that
no matter what,
it's just gonna keep going.
Where the kids really get away with murder.
oh shit!
There are many popular sports at Central High. But this year, the most popular sport is murder.
So Mike theorized that maybe this movie is meant to be a sort of a satire and commentary on like government systems, but have it be in a high school. And also, he thought it was like almost like a Lord of the Flies type movie by having the whole film feature only kids.
Yeah.
Like almost presenting like a government system that's run by teenagers. But it's ruined because for some reason the director decided to feature adults at the very end of the movie. It's very odd.
Yeah.
But it does look like it has some pretty good explosions. For me,
One.
yeah, and
The car.
yep, and even though
The other car.
yep,
Sorry.
it's funny, but something I really think is interesting, even though personally I do think it's fun. I don't think it's a good movie, but it's fun just to laugh at how badly made it is.
Yeah, the lines are just kind of very like, pause, say line. Pause, say line.
Already started a fight, okay? That's reason enough to waste him. Except he beats you, all of you. And if you were thinking straight, man, you'd realize he's a good guy to have with us.
Okay, Mark.
Talk to me. They're already getting at you about the way you've been acting. Playing with fire.
You tell them the same thing.
The delivery of lines is kind of harsh.
You're not talking to one of your stooges.
And while I do think it's not well done, I do find it interesting that there was a movie made about, like, high school bullying or being abused in high school, and how a kid could react to that kind of treatment made in the 70s. Because I think acknowledgement of high school bullying did come around like at some point in the 80s, but wasn't really something that was
definitely something swept under the rug back then. It was just kind of like, well, that's how things go.
But there was acknowledgments of it in 80s movies.
Yes, definitely.
In the 70s, you didn't really see much of that stuff.
No.
So I find that part about the film interesting. It is unrealistic as shit, but still, I think it's worth checking out just to have some laughs.
Yeah.
There really isn't much else to say about this movie other than it's bad, but bad in a fun way, and
entertaining.
Yeah, and the most unrealistic thing that you will see in this movie, and that's saying a lot when you've actually seen it, is there's a scene where a kid opens his locker setting off a bomb, and you know what happens? It's implied it happens a few days later on the same week. The school has a prom.
Yeah, that's a little unrealistic.
My mom she works in the school system, and she says not only would you not hold it so soon, but you wouldn't even if it was much later, you wouldn't hold it in the same building.
No.
So I really don't know what the guy who wrote and directed this was thinking, or just what he was going for.
Yeah.
And that's it for this episode.
Ta-ta for now.